Good day and welcome to another micrographics webinar. We are an Autodesk reseller and partner. My name is Zenofin Masipa and I will be presenting this webinar today on the 4th of December 2025. I'm an application engineer with micrographics and today's topic is unpacking the Autodesk Architecture, Engineering, Construction Common Data Environment. Okay. In this first introductory chapter, we will look at the challenges in the AEC industry. Then I will introduce the common data environment, and lastly, I will unpack the presentation roadmap. Okay, so when looking at the challenges in the AEC sector, the construction industry is characterized by increasingly complex projects involving multiple stakeholders, disciplines, and massive amounts of data. The complexity of projects mean that information and data has always been critical to it. Traditionally, teams relied on fragmented systems like exchanging files via email, which often resulted in version confusion, miscommunication, and project delays, something we are all quite familiar with. Research has shown that the key consequences of this fragmented data management, and this includes, so firstly, it's rework and costs. So globally, all rework is caused by poor project data and miscommunication. The cost of delays and mistakes due to outdated files is greatly minimized when a common data environment, or also CDE, is adopted. Lost time is another thing. Construction professionals also report spending 13% of their time, over 5 hours per 40-hour week, simply looking for data and information. And this is obviously due to filing systems and how information is shared. Then we have data loss. So up to 30% of data created during the design and construction phase is lost at project closeout. And what this often leads to is challenges for facilities teams, especially in future when they want to do additions or renovations to their projects. Introducing the Common Data Environment, also known as the CDE. To address these issues, the industry has embraced the Common Data Environment. So, a common data environment is a strategic necessity for the future of construction, transforming the way projects are managed by centralizing, securing, and managing project information throughout the entire project lifecycle. So, what is a common data environment? Okay, so first we will define the common data environment, explore its mandated lifecycle workflow. Then we will detail the core benefits of the common data environment and the attributes, and specifically examine how the Autodesk Construction Cloud ecosystem implements this concept. Okay. So in this chapter, what we'll be focusing on is what is a common data environment. First, we will look at the historical context and the evolution of information throughout the construction period. Then we will look at the core definition of the common data environment. And lastly, we will then look at the common data environment and BIM integration, which is quite critical. Okay. When looking at the historical context, to understand the common data environment, we need to look at the historical development of construction documents over time. Firstly, it started with a paper-based era. So in this instance, the single source of truth was a physical set of approved drawings stored on a drawing hanger in the site office. But with this paper-based era also came delays. So if a project or if a drawing had any changes to it, First, the drawing would need to be completed in office, approved, then it needs to be printed and then also delivered to site. And this could be quite troubling if the site was in another province, city, or even another country. That was quite challenging. Okay, then we move on to digital paper. The advent of the internet allowed for the exchange of electronic copies, so PDFs, your DWFs. This speeds up collaboration, but it also led to issues with version control across multiple email threads. Then, following this, we moved into the early adaptation of the common data environment slash extranet. So, solutions were established to centralize document access, sharing, and uploads, representing the first digital iterations of the common data environment. Autodesk's journey also began roughly around 2011, and since then, the common data environment for Autodesk has continuously evolved. When we're looking at the present, we have the international standards. So, common data environments became an integral part of global standards, primarily the ISO 19650 series, which some of you might be quite familiar with. If you're not, we will also briefly unpack it later on in the webinar. This ISO 19650 defines the processes and principles for information management during the building lifecycle, which is quite critical, and has the aims to address all the challenges faced by um, building stakeholders. Okay. Historical context continued. So, if we compare the traditional and the modern, we can see how information has evolved from manual tasks to digitally enabled tasks, from complex paper trails to simplified paper trails, which is easy to track. And then also we found with traditional methods, it tends to be error prone in some aspects, but digital alleviates some of those challenges and in terms also becomes a method for cost saving, especially when looking at clashes on site with different services from different project professionals. Okay, defining the common data environment. So, the common data environment is a cloud enabled digital hub that functions as a single source of information for every project stakeholder. The internationally recognized definition, as per ISO 19650, Standard for Information Management using BIM, defines the common data environment as the agreed source of information for collecting, managing, and disseminating each information container through a managed process. The common data environment is more than just a file storage, it is a workflow supported by technology solutions. It consolidates models, documents, drawings, and communications into one secure platform, making it easier to control the information flow during the project lifecycle, but also making it easier to access for different stakeholders during the project lifecycle. The common data environment is a strategic solution to information fragmentation. This is something that we picked up early on, and this is the common data environment is a solution to move away from the siloed method of working. So the common data environment then becomes a single source of truth. It is a cloud enabled digital hub that collects and manages all project data, but also allows for collaboration between different stakeholders. This cloud enabled platform consolidates all information from various stakeholders, which is critical to project success. Another benefit of it being cloud enabled, this allows teams to work in different offices, in different countries, on real time or the latest information available on the common data environment. So this also then ensures that teams are always working on the latest information, but it also allows them to share their updated information, be it drawings, files, simultaneously with teams in different offices or countries. Adopting, so when looking at the common data environment benefits, by adopting a common data environment, it is not just merely a technical upgrade, but also a foundational pillar of a firm's digital transformation strategy, directly impacting competitive advantage, client relationships, long term profitability, and this is done by creating a single reliable platform for all project information. A common data environment disassembles the barriers that lead to inefficiency and errors, generating benefits that impact every facet of the project. And then it's also an enhanced collaboration and visibility. So the common data environment breaks down data silos and fosters a truly collaborative environment. And this is something that we touched on and which is quite important. It creates a single platform where all parties and designers, engineers, contractors, and owners can access real time plans, changes, and data. This dissolves traditional contractual boundaries, fostering a project first mindset that drives integrated problem solving. Then it also offers improved efficiency and quality. So, this means that by centralizing the information, a common data environment reduces the need for teams to manually recreate data, which minimizes input errors and prevents information loss. The improved access empowers teams to make decisions faster with greater confidence. According to Anne Blachland, a senior construction manager at Arcadis Global, she says, the world today requires us to move fast. People want real time data, they want it quickly, and they want it to be accurate. They're making big decisions, all the way that may impact the safety of someone in the field. So, this quote just proves the importance of having real time data, especially when we are living in a very globalized society where projects happen across continents. The common data environment provides accurate real time data needed to meet those demands and maintain a competitive edge. It also offers reduced risk and financial gains. Okay, this is quite important, especially for the client and the on site team. The single source of truth, which is established by the common data environment, directly mitigates the risk of costly errors and rework. When all team members work from the same up to date information, misunderstandings are minimized. This transforms risk from an unpredictable liability into a manageable variable, enabling more aggressive and accurate project bidding. A common data environment provides transparency into the entire project landscape, leading to significant cost savings. This also leads to better resource allocation and optimized budgets. Typically, when going to a project site, we often find um, clashes happening on site where perhaps an element of the architectural team was not properly coordinated with the structural team. What this then means is that there are some changes which need to be made, and obviously, all of these changes have a cost implication, but not just that, a time implication. So, this then another benefit includes empowered owner decision making. A common data environment provides asset owners with critical real time visibility into construction activity. This access to a single source of reliable data enables faster, more informed decision making, which is crucial when each day of delay can mean millions lost profits. After project completion, the common data environment provides the comprehensive as-built data and documentation that facilities team need to operate the buildings more efficiently and profitable from day one. This also reduces the learning curve and enabling proactive maintenance strategies. So when looking in the context of facilities management, often the data is lost, and when teams need, or let's say building owners need to make any changes to buildings or they need to find certain services, the information might not always be readily available. So the common data environment ensures that the information is also secured in, in terms of access for the building owners. Okay, so then it's also, this leads to the next topic of strengthened data security. With a common data environment, administrators and IT professionals gain superior control over the project data, protecting intellectual property and mitigating digital risk. A centralized system with robust role-based permission settings ensures that confidential information is protected and team members can only view or edit information relevant to their function. This creates a more secure environment for managing sensitive business documents and proprietary data. To consistently achieve these benefits across the industry, projects must adhere to international standards designed to govern information management. Okay. So now we're looking at the relationship between the common data environment and BIM, also known as Building Information Modeling. So in the Building Information Modeling BIM projects, the common data environment is essential, acting as the backbone that manages data and integrates models, documents, and specifications for flawless execution. The common data environment enables stakeholders to to access and use data-rich modules, assisting with model coordination, clash detection, and efficient collaboration. Autodesk solutions specifically support this integration, for instance, by allowing users to seamlessly upload and view 2D drawings and 3D models. Okay. So now what we're going to focus on is the information lifecycle in a common data environment. Firstly, we will look at ISO 19650 framework, the four states of information, which is quite critical, and then the compliance requirements for companies implementing a common data environment. Okay, so looking at the ISO 19650 framework, the core purpose of the common data environment as defined by ISO 19650 is to progressively manage the information model across the asset lifecycle from design through operation. And it's important to note that it does not stop at construction, but it carries through to operation. A typical project lifecycle typically has a variety of stages, but they can be separated into main sections such as the design process, local authority approval, construction, and then building operations. ISO 19650 is the international standard for managing information over the entire life cycle of a building asset using building information modeling, also known as BIM. It provides the definitive framework for the industry, defining the core principles and collaborative processes required to establish and maintain an effective common data environment. This standard ensures a consistent, high quality approach from information management, allowing project teams to minimize wasteful activities and increase predictability around cost and time. Crucially, ISO 19650 establishes that a common data environment is a combination of standardized processes, the technology solution that enables it. So, a key term within the standard is the information container. This is defined as a named persistent set of information. An information container can be structures such as a can be structured data, meaning this can be a geometrical model, schedules, database, or unstructured data such as documentation, video clips, or sound recording. The ISO 19650 standard clearly outlines a clear workflow for how these information containers mature and move through the common data environment. This process is governed by digital gateways that ensure information is properly checked, reviewed, and approved before being used by the wider project team. The four distinct states are work in progress, shared, published, and archived states. So let's just focus on these containers and unpack what they actually mean and what information is relevant to each stage, and also importantly how they progress from one stage to another. If we look at the work in progress stage, also known as WIP, often you'll receive drawings from a consultant and it will have WIP stamped on them. So this is where information is being developed by a single task team. In this state, the information is not visible or accessible to anyone else. This allows team to develop their work privately. Then we move on to shared. After passing through a check/review or approval process, the information containers transition to the shared state. Here, the information is made available to other relevant task teams for coordination and collaborative development. Then, when we look at the published container, once information is deemed complete, it must pass through a review and authorized gateway again to be published. This state signifies that the information is authorized for use in detailed design or construction or asset management. Then we've got archive. So archive state, this serves as a complete journal for all information transactions, and it serves as a transparent audit trail recording past versions of containers and detailing who checked, approved, reviewed the relevant information. When looking at this, we can also clearly see how this information containers are relevant to the different project lifecycle phases. And that is quite critical for the common data environment. Okay. Looking at the ISO 19650 compliance requirements, to support the structured workflow, a technology platform must meet several key requirements to be considered ISO 19650 compliant common data environment. So these include the following: a unique and standard identification for every information container based on agreed and documented naming convention. Then it should have the ability to assign attributes for status, suitability, revision, and classification. Strict revision control to ensure that only correct and current versions are available for use by the project team. And then it should also have a controlled approval workflow. This manages the formal transition between the work in progress, shared, and published states. A complete audit trail records the user, the date for every transaction and activity. Okay, so now what we're going to move into is the attributes and benefits of a common data environment. Firstly, we'll look at the essential attributes of a common data environment. Then we'll also unpack the primary benefits of the common data environment adoption for businesses. Okay. When implementing a common data environment, organizations should look for systems with the following hallmarks. Firstly, it should be easy to use. So it should be intuitive, it should have an intuitive interface that minimizes the need for extensive training to ensure quick adaptation. It should be accessible. Cloud-based platform allows users to gain access to the common data environment from anywhere, be it in the office or on a job site. Then it should also be integrated, meaning that it must connect and work seamlessly with current system and processes to break down information silos. Then it should also be standardized and scalable. This allows business to standardize workflows and processes all across projects regardless of size and complexity. Then lastly, it must be secure. So you must prioritize data security through permission controls, access management to ensure data integrity. Okay. So when looking at the primary benefits of the common data environment adoption, it leads to advantages that ripple across the entire project lifecycle. So, firstly, it creates a single source of information. So, it provides one reliable, centralized place for all team members to access real time plans and changes or updates to any information. Secondly, it enhances collaboration. So, digital collaboration is streamlined, promoting improved coordination and teamwork across internal and external teams. Thirdly, it improves efficiency and quality. So it reduces the need to manually recreate data and minimizes input errors and streamlines the workflow. And then following that, it also reduces the risk and increases accountability. So it lowers the overall project risk through better transparency, insight, and the use of comprehensive audit trails and version control. The ability to track and resolve issues from a single centralized list increases accountability. It also enables data driven decision making. So, this allows access to accurate real time data and allows for more informed and timely decisions. Owners benefit from a dashboard level interface and aggregate construction data to spot trends. Okay, now we'll be moving into the Autodesk ecosystem. So firstly, we'll look at the Autodesk ecosystem. Then we'll move into the Autodesk Construction Cloud. Then we'll specifically look at Docs, BIM Collaborate Pro, Build, and then lastly, we'll also look at the implementation for businesses of the CDE. Okay, so the Autodesk ecosystem consists of the Autodesk Construction Cloud. It is the current generation of Autodesk's collaboration solutions. So, Autodesk Construction Cloud can be defined as a uniform platform that brings together powerful cloud tools for improved collaboration, document management, project management, and cost control within a centralized common data environment. The ACC tools also include Docs, which is the centralized document management platform. The core function is that it manages 2D drawings, 3D models, and specifications across the entire project lifecycle. This ensures that teams don't work from outdated data, as previously mentioned. And then we've got Build. This is the on-site project management platform which aids in tracking project progress. The core function is that it tracks project progress safety and quality. It also handles critical workflows like request for information, submittals, and meeting minutes. Then we've got model management. This allows for model aggregation and clash detection. The core function of this package is that it automates clash detection, identifying where building systems might interfere with one another. For example, as mentioned previously, a pipe going through a beam. This can be identified early on. It saves quite a bit of costs. Then we have Takeoff. This is the 2D and 3D quantification software with the core function being that it determines how much material is needed. And then extending beyond the core modules, ACC includes a specialized tool that deals with building operational phase, namely the digital twin. Autodesk Tandem is an integrated into the Autodesk Construction Cloud to transform BIM data into a digital twin for facilities operations. This allows owners to leverage design and construction data for long-term asset management. So, looking at the Autodesk Construction Cloud. So, ACC is a cloud-based construction management and collaboration platform, right? To access the Autodesk Construction Cloud, which is also known as ACC, users need simply visit acc.autodesk.com and then fill in their credentials. And then they will end up on the landing page, which we see on the right. So on top, we see that the title is Autodesk Construction Cloud. And then you will see it says Home, Projects, and then Project Templates. If we look at the projects below, we will see all the various projects that I've worked on. And then we can see their name and then number if a number has been assigned. Then we also see the default access portals for these projects. So we have docs in some instances, and then we have build. And users can specify this simply by clicking on that icon. Then you also have the account on which the information is hosted. So some of the projects over here is hosted on our local micrographics account. So when you are signed in, then the Autodesk Construction Cloud is also designed to connect workflows, teams, and data across the entire lifecycle of a building project, from design and planning to construction and operations. At the heart of ACC is Autodesk Docs. This serves as the centralized document layer and the single source of truth for the entire platform. Every other module in the ACC ecosystem plugs into Autodesk Docs, ensuring data flows seamlessly between designers, contractors, and owners. For project owners, ACC offers a way to retain ownership of data rather than the data living in a professional's siloed server. The common data environment nature allows ACC owners to maintain visibility into project's health and creates a seamless handover of the digital as-builds for facility management. So now looking at Autodesk Docs. So Autodesk Docs is a cloud-based common data environment that serves as the centralized document management solution. This we know. Okay. So this is quite essential for ACC and it serves as the document management interface. For all AEC projects, it also acts as the single source of truth, allowing architectural, engineering, and construction teams to publish, manage, review, and approve project information throughout the project lifecycle. Docs functions as the foundational data layer for the entire Autodesk Construction Cloud. While it can be used independently, it is the underlying document repository for other Autodesk Construction Cloud projects. The key features and capabilities include a centralized data control and versioning. Autodesk Docs provides unlimited cloud storage and supports 2D and 3D file formats, including PDF, DWG, Revit, and Navisworks file formats. It enforces version control, ensuring that project teams always access the most current information, which helps reduce errors and rework caused by outdated drawing. It maintains a comprehensive audit trail of all activities. It also has review and approval workflows to streamline project management. Autodesk Docs allows administrators to configure automated approval workflows. These can range from 1 to 6 steps and support both serial, one person after another, or group, which is parallel reviews. This system ensures that documents transition through proper stages, such as passing from work in progress to shared or published only after being checked and authorized. Markups and issue tracking. Users can create markups, meaning electronic red lines on drawings and models directly within the platform. If problems are identified, users can generate issues, assign them to specific team members, and track their resolution status from a centralized list. The holding area serves as a crucial element of the Autodesk task system. If a file is uploaded with a name that does not conform to the project standard, it is placed in a holding area where it must be corrected before becoming visible to the rest of the team. You can think of Autodesk Docs as the foundation and plumbing of a modern digital house, which is the project. While other tools like Autodesk Build is the project management, BIM Collaborate or model coordination are the specific rooms where people perform specialized tasks such as cooking, sleeping, and working. Autodesk Docs is the underlying infrastructure that holds everything up and ensures water, or in this instance data, flows correctly to every room. Okay, looking at BIM Collaborate Pro. So BIM Collaborate Pro is the module within the Autodesk Construction Cloud designed specifically for design teams, namely architects, engineers, and also multidisciplinary firms. It serves as the engine for the work in progress container and the shared container of the information lifecycle. It is the only license that allows for real-time cloud co-authoring in Autodesk's primary design tools. So then we also have Revit cloud sharing capabilities. So this allows teams to host a central Revit model in the cloud. Multiple users from different offices or companies can sync their changes to the central model in real time. This eliminates the need for local servers or VPNs. Then we also have collaboration for Civil 3D and Plant 3D. So it also provides a collaborative or collaboration capabilities for infrastructure and plant design teams. It manages the file locking and synchronization to ensure that when one civil engineer opens a file, it is locked for others to prevent override conflicts. BIM Collaborate Pro also includes automated clash detection tools. So when looking at the automatic analysis, when the models are saved to the coordination space, the system automatically checks for clashes. For example, a duct running through a structural beam or a column sitting on a point where the civil engineer has a train. Then we've also got issue management. Users can view these clashes, group them, and assign them as issues to specific team members for resolution. This moves coordination out of expensive desktop software like Navisworks into the web browser for broader team access. So think about it this way. If the common data environment is a library, BIM Collaborate Pro is the writer's room. So this is where all the authors, namely the architects, your engineers, and additional consultants, sit together virtually to write the book simultaneously. They can see what the others are typing in real time, check for plot holes, which clashes, and agree on finished chapters, and this refers to shared packages, before sending them out to the publishers, which in this context would be our construction team on site. Now we are moving into Autodesk Build. So Build is a comprehensive project management and field execution solution within the Autodesk Construction Cloud platform. It is designed to connect construction workflows, teams, and data. This bridges the gap between the office and the job site. Autodesk Build serves as a tool to standardize construction operations, promoting collaboration and accountability across project teams, and it creates a unified environment for managing the construction phase of a project. Looking at the project management capabilities, it streamlines critical administrative workflows, including the creation and management of RFIs, which are also known as requests for information, and submittals. It supports the management of meeting minutes, daily reports, and schedules. When looking at the field collaboration capabilities, the software connects office teams with field teams via a mobile application, the Autodesk Construction Cloud app. This allows field staff to document site conditions, weather, and delivery details and retain photographs in real time. When looking at the safety and quality management capabilities, Build includes specific tools for safety management, quality management. Teams can create checklists, track issues, and document inspections to ensure compliance and reduce risk. So think about it this way. If the common data environment, which is Docs, is the digital filing cabinet where all the blueprints and files live, Autodesk Build is the digital clipboard and radio system used by the site inspection team and the project manager. It takes files from the cabinet and gives the team tools to mark them up, track safety issues, pay the bills, and tell the architect when something doesn't fit, all while standing in the mud on the job site. Now we're looking at the implementation of the common data environment in Autodesk Construction Cloud. So, a powerful technology platform must be properly configured so that it functions as an effective standards compliant common data environment. So, in this section, we will now outline the best practices for setting up Autodesk Construction Cloud to operationalize the principles of the ISO 19650. To establish a folder structure, the first step is to create separate folders corresponding to the ISO 19650 information states. So that is your work in progress states, the shared state, published, and then archive state. So best practice is to use a numerical prefix, namely if you make it 01 for work in progress, 02 for the shared, 03 for published, and 04 for archived. This ensures that they display in the correct logical order, reinforcing the standard information progression. So then you have to move into configuring role-based permission. With folder structure in place, it is essential to configure the permissions for each folder based on user role or company. This controls the flow of information by ensuring team members only have access appropriate to their function, from view-only access to full folder control. And this is critical for maintaining data security and process integrity. Then we have to define a naming standard. The project administrator must define and reinforce a naming standard for all information containers and files. This involves configuring the platform to require specific naming conventions and defining the attributes for status, revision, and classification. This ensures that all project data is consistent, searchable, and traceable as per ISO 19650 standards. Then you have to set up an approval workflow. The platform's review and approval workflows must be configured to act as the digital gateway that formally controls the transition from information from one state to another, for example, from shared to published. These workflows specifically for the reviewers and the approvers create a complete audit trail of the process. Then users also need to specify a holding area. So the holding area is a feature which manages the upload process. When enabled, any uploaded file that does not conform to the defined naming standards is sent to this area, allowing an administrator to review and correct errors before the file is moved into the official common data environment. And this preserves its integrity. By following these steps, an organization or business can transform the Autodesk Construction Cloud platform from a simple data repository into an actively managed process driven common data environment compliant with global best practices. So, in closing, we'll look at the key takeaways. We'll look at the summary of a common data environment, primary value drivers, and the next step for business. Okay, so the integration of the common data environment concept is guided by the international standards like the ISO 19650, and this is a strategic necessity for modern construction industry. And as seen with various other industries, data and the management of data is quite critical. The common data environment is a single source of truth. A common data environment is a cloud-based digital hub that collects, manages, and disseminates all project information. It acts as a single centralized source of truth, ensuring project teams access the most reliable, up-to-date data in real time. This centralized approach fosters seamless communication and reduces costly errors stemming from version confusion. The common data environment implements controlled information workflow. The CDE process, mandated by ISO 19650, governs how information moves through critical lifecycle stages: the work in progress stage, the shared stage, published, and archive. The structure, along with strict approval gateways, ensures that only authorized and quality checked information is used for construction and design activities, providing traceability and security. Autodesk Docs is the foundation of the common data environment. This underlies that the Autodesk Construction Cloud serves as Autodesk's ISO 19650 aligned common data environment solution. Docs provide crucial functionalities such as folder level access control, versioning, document review, workflows needed to meet the common data environment standards, and then lastly, the common data environment provides full lifecycle integration. The Autodesk AEC system uses Docs to connect key processes from the project lifecycle, from collaborative design, which is your BIM collaborate, and quantification, which is takeoff, to field execution, which is build, and the digital handover, which is stand. By concentrating development efforts on the Autodesk Construction Cloud, Autodesk enables clients to participate in full project lifecycle workflows with a robust data scheme. By adopting a common data environment that is accessible and integrated, standardized, and secure, companies can minimize costly errors and rework, reduce time spent searching for the correct information, and instead increase productivity. This also ensures accountability and data control. It provides a standardized framework aligning with ISO 19650 standards, which mandates controlled transition between different containers. So, the Autodesk Construction Cloud, founded on Docs, provides a robust common data environment solution that spans the entire project lifecycle, from design, co-authoring, there is BIM Collaborate Pro. The field execution, there is Build. To the digital handover and operations, there is Tandem. By leveraging this unified ecosystem, project teams can improve predictability and also accelerate project delivery. Teams can also reach out to us at Micrographics if they require any assistance in implementing these systems within their business. If you have any further questions, please do not hesitate to contact us here at Micrographics. Hope you found this webinar informative. If you haven't subscribed, please do so. And don't forget to hit the like and hit that notification bell for future webinars. Thank you again and goodbye.